Good morning everyone, and welcome to a Thursday in my life. I've got a pretty jam-packed schedule of stuff to get done today, so I thought actually, even though I am incredibly busy, why not just make it worse by vlogging at the same time? So there's quite a lot of work bits, there's some home bits, and there's some garden bits for today as well. So I need to make a list really. I've got an idea in my head of what it is that I want to get done today. And there are some definites that absolutely have to get done today. And then there are some bonus tasks as well that would be fantastic to get done as well. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and I am about to have my breakfast, and I'm going to drink my cup of tea. And then when I've done that, get my list sorted, get showered and dressed, and we'll make a start on today. Okay, so we are ready to start work this morning. My little work from home outfit of the day is basically it's a jersey dress, just by Warehouse. It's got pockets, little drawstring. It's incredibly comfortable, and as you'll see as we go through the day, I've got quite a lot of different types of tasks to get done today, so I need something that is incredibly comfortable but also cool enough, because I think today is the first day of like a little mini heat wave, potentially, possibly in the UK over the weekend. So yeah, I'm dressed for the heat, but I've got my little cardigan in case it doesn't warm up as much as I expect. I also have a really shiny face because I've just heaped a load of moisturiser on my face because my skin's quite dry at the moment, and whenever I get dry skin it gets incredibly sensitive and I have breakouts and things, and you can see the sensitivity across my chin where it's gone red, and also can get it on my cheeks quite a bit as well. Now then, the first thing that I'm going to do is my reselling dispatch. Thursday is my half day at reselling. I might have to trim that slightly and make that slightly shorter because I have taken on some work for an exam board in the UK. So the exam work has to take precedence over absolutely everything at the moment, and if I find that I can't quite manage running my different online shops, I will have to put them on holiday mode so I can concentrate on the exam work. And I have a deadline, and I can't really miss that deadline because, you know, results day is results day, and you can't not give students their results because people like me haven't met their deadlines. So that takes precedence. At the moment, I'm just about managing to stay on top of everything, and if that changes, I will just put my eBay shop on holiday mode temporarily. So we have that to do. There's not a huge amount to dispatch. I'm definitely in my summer slowdown, but what I have done actually is yesterday I came up with a little plan for my reselling income stream based off watching my friend Shelley's videos talking about sourcing strategies, and basically just kind of getting some sort of framework and some boundaries in place. And I sat there watching it thinking, oh, I need to do that. I haven't sat down and given any thought to this income stream in a while, and it still brings me a big chunk of money. Like most months it's 600 to 800 pounds, which, as you know from the video that I made about how much money I need to survive and cover my bills, most months that is completely covered by eBay, and I don't really need anything else to do that. The only time when it tends not to do that is, well, June and July, and that's why I have the exam work to kind of plug that gap. And obviously during Q4 it over earns, so that gives me a bit extra for hard times when they come along. So even though I have got all of these new things that newish things that I'm working on, I do still have to keep an eye on that reselling. So I have come up with a plan, and I've actually got it saved as my not my screensaver, what's the other one? Desktop background on my computer, so that I can see it kind of every day. And the plan that I have, I'm not really going to sort of start it officially until next Monday, but I might show you some little elements of that. The other thing that I'm going to give a go is Poshmark, which I'm sure most of you that are watching this, if you are already resellers, you've probably already signed up to Poshmark. I do have my little refer a friend link in the description, so if you haven't signed up yet, you can sign up with mine and you get a £5, and I'm assuming I get a £5 as well. I didn't actually check, but there must be some sort of kickback for me in it as well. And so I picked up a few items of clothing. I think I've probably got like half a dozen things that I'm going to test out on there and try and build it up a little bit and just see what I think of it. My initial thoughts are the app drives me around the bend. It's too busy. It reminds me of a social media app, and I do not get on with that. There's just too many things to look at, and it's not clear enough what's going on. And also, I think at the moment, and I think Shelley did mention this as well, I have a feeling that at the moment it's mainly full of sellers and buyers haven't necessarily found their way to it yet. But I kind of thought to myself it wouldn't hurt to have a little collection of something on there, and I do think that clothing is probably going to be the best thing to put on there. Maybe a few bits of jewellery as well, and just test it out, mainly because eBay has been winding me right up recently, winding me right up. The number of returns that I have got over the last 4 weeks is ridiculous, considering I barely have a single one most of the time. But I'm getting so many people fraudulently using the returns policy. People saying that, what did I have recently? Oh, the envelope arrived and it was empty. Just like, what? Of course it's not empty. I put things inside the envelopes when I send them. And then somebody else claimed that there was like a massive stone missing from the front of a necklace. And I thought to myself, well, it's not missing in my listing photos, is it? And also, because it's one of the main ones at the front, I probably would have noticed that when I was packaging the parcel. And so it was returned, and it was a slightly more unusual shaped stone, which I think is why they basically had prized open, it was like a claw clasp, prized open the little claws and taken the stone out. And I just thought, like, what do you do with people like that? I mean, you report them, but eBay tells you to send a refund anyway. And it's that thing where I feel very vulnerable and very unsupported on eBay. And whenever I feel like that, that's what makes me want to go elsewhere. And also, I've been getting a few more sales on my vintage Etsy shop as well, or Etsy vintage shop. Would make more sense. Etsy isn't vintage. Oh, actually, maybe it is. How long has it been around for? Anyway, my point is that that's starting to bring in a trickle of sales more regularly now. And that just makes me feel like, I don't know, maybe I could find a different platform to work on. I'm not sure. I'll probably still keep eBay despite all of my whinging, but I'm not very happy with it at the moment. So I will get on with my packaging, get all of that sorted out, and then I will show you the bits that I've bought to go on Poshmark, because those of you that are clothing resellers, if I still have any of you guys hanging about watching me, I would really appreciate your advice. And I'm pretty sure there is some kind of profit in what I've bought. I'm not convinced that everything is particularly suited to Poshmark. I've mainly bought things that are about £1 or £2, so there should be something in them. But yeah, we will see. Let me get on with some work, and we will reconvene and have a look at my new stock. I just thought I'd show you what I mean by having my little reselling plan as my desktop background. It's my reselling cheat sheet, and it's just basically got what my aims are and things that I need to do and how I'm going to work on everything. So reselling cheat sheet, 800 listings across all platforms, 400 on eBay, 300 on Etsy, 100 on Poshmark, making a total of 800. eBay is just going to be jewellery still. All items need to have at least £5 profit after fees, because I've noticed that I've got a lot of things for sale at £5, and so things that are lower, I'll either bundle them or I might pop them on auction or something like that. I don't want to use up any of my main like listing space that I pay for. on the very, very cheap things. So that's why an auction or a bundle would be a better idea. My vintage shop on Etsy, no rules for that, but there just needs to be some profit after fees, and then also after things like my mum makes the fabric bags, after like the extra packaging spend and stuff like that. Poshmark, now this isn't reflected in the clothing that I'm going to show you in a minute because I hadn't come up with this at that point, but on Poshmark I want at least £10 profit after fees from every item, and I think the fees are about 20%, something like that, aren't they? Vinted and personal eBay, just for kind of decluttering and things like that. My to-do list, learn 50 new to me clothing brands, and I've made a start actually. I've got to 26. Let me just try and do this one-handed. So I've basically just got a piece of cardboard folded up and I've written a load of names on there. So I picked up some from Shelley's video that I was mentioning earlier, and I've also done some shop stalking as well on eBay and kind of checked solds and just added some stuff. I still need, you know, a few more to get that list of 50, but I figure that I can carry that around with me in my bag. I mean, I could put it on my phone, but I think that there's still this, and it's not in all charity shops, but there is a bit of a slight kind of conflict or antagonism there with some people that run charity shops if they see you get your phone out. And I just thought, oh god, I just don't want any of that. I don't want any fuss or any bother. So I've got my little list on a piece of card instead. I also need to tidy, clean and reorganize my storage and packing bookcase that I've possibly shown you before. I don't know, but it's getting a little bit out of hand and it needs some organization. And then this you kind of know about, there aren't any huge changes here. So framework for the business then, source once a month in charity shops, because that seems to be the best place to get the vintage bits for Etsy, whereas the jewelry I'll just buy that in bulk once a month as I would do normally. And then this is when I'm going to concentrate on reselling. So as you guys know, all day Monday is usually reselling, unless, you know, there's some other kind of reason why it wouldn't be. 8 hours on a Monday, all of my dispatch from every platform, all of my admin from every platform, my photography for eBay and Poshmark, and my listings for eBay and Poshmark. I'm grouping those together because it just makes sense in terms of where I'm taking my photographs and how I'm taking my photographs. And then on Thursday, again, dispatch and admin across all the platforms. By admin, I mean things like sending offers, dealing with kind of questions and things like that. I mean, sometimes I'll do it in between, but I do try and save it for just these 2 days. Photography for Etsy and listings for Etsy, and 4 hours there. Now, the Thursday one is unlikely to take me the 4 hours. It's probably going to be closer to 2 or 3 because I hardly ever have anything significant to dispatch on a Thursday, so it's all really quick. And so the time that I'll save on some of the Thursdays will cover the time that I spend once a month in the charity shop. So I should be able to, let me just kind of come back a bit, so I should be able to run my entire reselling business on a day and a half a week, basically 12 hours, and get the £600 to £800 regularly that I want from it. Yeah, so if you are one of my reselling followers of old, let me know if you made any changes to your reselling strategies recently. I'd be really interested because I haven't switched mine up for a long time, and actually I'm not even convinced that this is switching it up that much. I think I'm on the right line, so I think what I need to do is just tweak things and not rely quite so heavily on eBay. Also, let me know if you've tried Poshmark. How are you finding it? Are there buyers on there, or is it mainly just sellers? And how do you find the app? Because like I said, there's a lot about it that irritates me at the moment, but I'm still giving it a go. Right, so we're supposed to be going out and delivering these parcels or posting these parcels. And I don't know if you can see, but my skin has had a massive reaction to something that I've used this morning. I've been having so much trouble with my skin. It's very sensitive. It's usually sensitive to heat and touch and not so much products, or like it can be, but that's not normally the predominant kind of like cause of it doing what it's doing now. So if I kind of put my hand over my face, it's just come up in, it's just lumps and bumps. across the whole thing, and obviously it's very red and it's particularly sore on my chin and kind of on my cheeks as well. And it must be something that I put on or used this morning, so I need to kind of eliminate the kind of which product it is that I'm using that's really kind of triggering it. And I've been trying for so long, ever since my income dropped, so this is kind of for years really, I've been trying to find cheaper alternatives to the Dermalogica Ultra Calming range, which I used in my skin throughout my 30s, and my skin was like great. I had some moments where it would flare up a little bit, but generally speaking, using those products and that range kept it in check. My skin, you know, it felt calm, it felt cool, and it wasn't kind of itchy or irritated or anything. And I've realised I have spent so much time and wasted so much money trying to find an alternative, a cheaper alternative to those products, when I may as well have just kind of kept buying them. Like, the money that I've wasted on stuff that kind of doesn't work and does this to my skin, I could have just bought the expensive products that I know work. So that's what I'm going to do. I have already started that because I was starting to come to that conclusion over the last week, and I'd got a few pounds in my Vinted account just from some little, you know, bits and pieces that I'd sold on there. Like, not very much. I think it was like £6 or £7 had built up in there, because I'm just selling some stuff for £1 or £2. And I bought some sachets of some Dermalogica Ultra Calming product, and they have actually arrived, so I'm going to collect those today as well as dropping some stuff off. And I think that's what I'm going to do, is I will buy some stuff in sachet form, but I'll also try and save up enough to actually buy full-sized bottles of the products that I know that work, and just kind of gradually phase them back in again, because like, this is ridiculous. It's so uncomfortable and it's so sore, and I'm not someone that really likes wearing makeup all the time. I'm not that interested in it, and I certainly don't want to put it on now, so I've got like another chance for something to irritate my face. So yeah, so just a little bit of a skin kind of update there, whether you liked it or not. I have got an SPF in what I've got on my face, which also could be triggering it, but probably not, because it's the same one I've used before. I'm gonna go just get myself sorted and go and get this stuff dropped off. So those of you that watch my personal channel will know that I have an allotment where I grow veg and flowers and fruit and things. And because it's so hot, and it's going to be so hot for the next few days, I am going to come up every day and water it. Ideally, I would do it in the morning or the evening, but as it is, this is the only time I've got, so it's better that it's now than not doing it at all. So I'm just going to get on and do that. And I haven't got a tripod or anything with me, so I can't really show you what I'm doing. But oh, unless, let me see if I can balance you somewhere. That's not really good enough, is it? Anyway, I'm just going to go and water, and then I'll be back. Just thought I'd show you my tiny little harvest that I've managed to get. Some lettuce for my lunch, and some spinach, or a Swiss chard, which is like spinach, for my dinner. So that's not bad at all. And then this is what I'm currently looking at. So I've tried to water it, but there was a problem. So they've switched the, let's take those out so I can actually hear how loud I'm being. So they've switched the water off at the water trough. It has like a pump in it, and it's right near my allotment, and it's the one that I normally use. It has been playing up lately, and they've turned off the water to it, so there was only a little bit left in the bottom, which I have like scavenged out as well as I can by just trying to kind of put my watering can in sideways and get as much water as possible. And when I come back tomorrow, when I'm more suitably dressed for the activity I have in mind, which is to walk to the next closest one. I'm not entirely sure where that is, but it's going to be a bit of a trek with a heavy kind of couple of watering cans. So I'll do 2 at a time to make the kind of the walk worth it. And yeah, give it a proper soaking, and I'll do that tomorrow morning as well before it gets too hot. At the moment it's 12:30, it's midday, it's the wrong time to be out here, it's the wrong time to water, but at least they've got something. And I've prioritised the tomatoes, which are thirsty plants, and the lettuce, which if it gets too kind of dried out, it will bolt and go to seed and be no good for anything. So yeah, I'll be back again tomorrow. Right, I'm back, and this is a very, very peculiar angle. You're perched against an old teapot. I thought I'd share with you what I collected. So this is something in the ultra calming range that I haven't used before, but I know that this whole range is formulated in a way that, generally speaking, doesn't irritate my skin. So this is Calm Water Gel, and I will be using that. It's kind of like a barrier. They used to do a barrier repair gel, and I wonder if it's the same thing that's been renamed. I'm not sure. I need to look into it. But it will kind of go on after I've cleansed my face, and it will sit in between my skin and any moisturiser or an SPF or anything that I put on over the top, which I think is going to be a good thing. And what I tend to find with these sachets is that I only ever need about half a one per day. So I think I've probably got about 3.5 weeks worth there for, well, kind of for free-ish. I mean, I think it costs like a £5 or something, but I used my Vinted balance or credit to pay for it. I'm gonna make a cup of tea. I'm gonna sort out some lunch. I want to use that lettuce that I picked, but I've also got some asparagus in the fridge, and I'm wondering if I maybe griddle it or lightly pan fry it or something. I could maybe toss it through a salad, have like a sort of slightly warm salad. I do like a warm salad. So yeah, gonna have a little think about that. So this is what we've got so far for lunch. We've got the asparagus. There's a little bit of leftover garlic from out of the garlic press that's left over. Tiny little bit of bread that was left over from this morning that I'm gonna toss around and kind of make croutons out of that. And then in here we've got tomatoes, some yellow pepper and some mozzarella. I've got a dressing in here which is extra virgin olive oil, balsamic vinegar and some crushed green garlic, so some fresh garlic that hasn't been cured out of the garden. I've got my cup of tea over here as well, cup of tea, and the lettuce is drying, and then it will all get tossed through the bowl. And this is my finished salad, which is looking very lovely. It's had a generous, very generous pinch of Maldon sea salt in there, and my lovely croutons, and there's also some little crunchy, crispy bits of garlic in there as well. Can't wait. Let's go and have some lunch. I finished my delicious lunch. It was so good. I've still got my cup of tea and some water to drink as well, and I've just noted down the things that I need to get done this afternoon. I've got a couple of bits of exam work to do, which I'm sat here in the sun kind of putting that off because it means going back indoors and, you know, hanging out with my computer, which I really would rather not do on a gorgeous day like today. But anyway, mop up outstanding listings. I've got quite a few eBay and Etsy listings that should have gone on Monday but didn't this week. I need to bake some potatoes for dinner. That will be a lot later in the afternoon. I want to prep my KDP challenge video, which will go out before this one. Just kind of tying up the challenge, I ended up just seriously unable to like keep up with the vlogging and kind of keep going with it in the way that I started it. But I do want to do a video that just ties that up for the people that were following along with it. I also need to email the council about the allotment as well, don't I? So I can't write when I'm looking at it through the camera. Isn't that strange? Well, not strange, but I wasn't expecting that. Email. Right, let's have another go. Email council about allotment. Oh my god. Oh, silly things that make you laugh in the world. Right, yeah, so there's that. That's my afternoon. And then I'm just spending a little bit of time on this branding book. It's a beautiful book. I have gone through quite a lot of it before when I used to run the channel, but I never really got to grips with it at all. So yeah, I'm just kind of working my way through this. There's exercises that go with it just to help you figure out some things to do with your branding. And I think because I've got this channel and I've got the sort of home and garden focused one, I've got those two. Even if it just brings a little bit of cohesion to both of those channels, that would be really good. And oh, this is the bit that I was I put some stuff on my community tab about this: spring personality, summer personality, autumn personality and winter personality. And I kind of put it to the vote using some of the words that are in these different sections, and overwhelmingly it was spring personality with a chunk of autumn personality, which when I read through them all myself, and there's a lot more kind of detail on that type of colour psychology in here, and also in another book by the same author. And yeah, it was spot on. It was exactly what I thought of myself, is what people watching think of me, which I think is a good thing overall. I'm just going to finish my cup of tea and kind of have a little look through. I can't remember where I've got to, but I have a little look through here, and then it will definitely be time to go back in and get on with some work. So this is my final bit of procrastination I'm allowing myself. I've just come to look at these roses. They're just absolutely, I mean, they're just out of this world good. It's a David Austin rambling rose. It was meant to ramble kind of up and through the apple tree, but I planted it on the wrong side of the apple tree really, and it's kind of rambling over nothing. I'm going to buy an archway though to pop underneath all of this lot, and then it can grow over that instead, or some bindweed that needs taking out. But yeah, these are the smell as you walk past. Each individual flower doesn't actually smell that strong on this rose, but because there's so many of them, it's pretty intense when you walk past. But anyway, I need to go in and do some work, don't I? Right, so we're back at another dodgy angle, but I can report that I have completed one of the 2 pieces of work that I need to do. I haven't done the second piece. I'm on the hunt for a slightly shorter piece of work to do, but I don't think I've found it yet. So what I might do is start another piece. I'm not convinced that I will get it finished, but we will have a go. And then the only other things on my list were, I mean, the baked potatoes for dinner, I'll just chuck those in quite soon actually, maybe in about half an hour. And I've got the prepping, oh, I've sort of half done this actually, prepping the KDP challenge video. I've written out some pros and cons of doing it, and the only thing that I need to do is just jot down my actual numbers, like how many books and in like which category, like what types of books they were that I managed to upload. So that's almost done actually, that bit. And the mop up outstanding listings is something that I can do some of that on my phone this evening, just kind of get a few, oh, it's very wobbly, a few more of those just kind of onto probably eBay. I find eBay's easier to do on my phone. So yeah, I'll probably get some of those done on the sofa this evening, and I will have got to the end of the day having done pretty much everything that I was supposed to do. So I think we will say goodbye here, because I'm bound to have enough footage. It's me. I'll have just talked a load of rubbish at some point. So that is a Thursday of me working from home. It mostly stops at around 5:30, but like I said, there's a little something that I'll probably do this evening. If I don't do it, it's fine, but I would like to get it done. Oh, there was something else that I was going to do. So my skin's itching again. It's just feeling incredibly uncomfortable. It's like a prickly sore feeling kind of across my chin mostly. So I thought what I will do is I'll go and cleanse my face, and I'll put some of that Dermalogica Ultra Calming stuff on. Obviously this is not sponsored. This is just a product range that I used for a long time that worked really well, and just see if that soothes it. And if it does, I'm definitely going to save up to get the full-sized products that I want. So I'm going to go and do that, try and get on with this second piece of work. And yeah, I may or may not be back again this month. I don't know. Things are a bit tight. There's lots to do. If I can squeeze out another video, then I will. But if not, have a wonderful rest of June, and I will see you again more regularly in July.